Lesson 10. In this lesson, we are going to do how to set up Excel document for printing, and then we are trying to create a macro, and then to use the subtotal function. So first we will look the printing setups. So this is the worksheet. It gives the days, 7 weekdays, 7 days of the week, and then product, buns and bread, and then sales in unit, then unit price and total sales. So we need to print this one. First, they are tell us to do set up the page size to A4. So first we have to set up the page size to A4. To do that, we have to go to page layout, then size, then you can select A4. Then it is asking set up the page orientation to landscape. Now it is in portrait, so it's asked to set up the page layout into landscape. It's if your document is a wider document, then you can set up this page to landscape when you are taking the printout. If not, then you have to take, you can't take your data in a one page. Therefore, if you need, you can make this page landscape. So we'll see how to do this. Again, you have to go to page layout, then orientation, then you can make this page landscape. Now the margin is from here, but when you make it landscape, then the margin will go wider and now here. Then set print area. Before you are printing, if you give just print, see, print, everything will get printed. But if you before you are giving printing command, you should have to set up the print area. So how to do this? Again, you have to go to page layout, then you have to select the area you want to print, this area, then go to print area, then click set print area. Now this area had set up to print. So now if you are giving print command, now this area will only print it. Right, then print this with grid lines. Now when you are, if you are printing this area, then you can see if you give the print command, no lines between these columns and rows. So it is very difficult to read after getting a printout in a A4 sheet. Therefore, when you are printing, you should have to put these lines, the vertical lines and horizontal lines. Then after getting the printout, very easily you can demarcate the rows and the columns. So to do that, you have to go to home. Page layout. Here there is option grid line. Now grid lines are only in the viewing panel. That means when you have viewed Excel sheet, you can see the grid lines, but when you are going to take a printout, grid lines will not be printed. If you want to print the grid lines with your data set, then you should have to put a tick here. Grid lines print. If you want to print the headings, then you have to put a tick here. If you have a heading in this Excel sheet, then if you want to print that heading with your data set, then you have to put a tick here. Now for the grid lines, we put the tick here, and now we'll see how the print preview looks like. Now when you give the print command, it will show all the vertical and horizontal lines. Then when you are going to get a printout, you can set up these things. You can select your printer from here. If you have many printers connected to your computer, you can select the right printer from here. Then you can give print options, only print the active sheet or print entire workbook. If there are, earlier I said, in a workbook, normally there are 3 Excel worksheets. So if you select print entire workbook, everything will be printed. Entire 3 Excel sheets will be printed. Then print selection mean if you only the selected area will be get printed. If you set print active sheet, then whole sheet will be printed. So these options you can set. If you want only to print this area, then you can select that area, and you can, from here you can set print selection, right? Then there is another option. You can set the orientation, landscape or portrait. Then you can set the page size. Then you can set the margins, normal margin or narrow margin, wide margin, or you can customize the margins before printing. Then you can scale. Here no scaling. If you want, you can fit sheet on page. These options you can use, right? Then another one option there, collated. So how to use this? Print copies, but set one first, set 2 second. So how to do this? In when you are going to get a printout, right? Then when you, for an example, think you are going to print a Excel worksheet that have more than one page. For an example, you are going to take a printout of a 5-page Excel worksheet. So that Excel worksheet runs through 5 pages. You need 5 A4 sheets to take the whole Excel sheet. Then you need to take, for an example, think you need to take 5 copies. Then if you select this collated option, if you select collated, then first copy will get printed. That means page 1 to 5 first it will get printed, and then again another set will get printed, then the 3rd set, then the 4th set. But if you tick here uncollated, then 5 set of first page will get printed first, then 5 set of second page, then 5 set of 3rd page, right? I think you understood. When you are going to take a printout 5-page Excel sheet, then you want to take 5 copies or 3 copies. Think you need 3 copies. Then if you put collated, then first set will get print first, then the next set, and then the 3rd set. But if you click uncollated, then the first page of 3 sets will get print first, then second 3 copies of second page, then 3 copies of 3rd page, likewise. So you can use this option to change the print mode, the collated or uncollated, right? These are the normal printing options. You can, by using this printing option, you can print a Excel document. Right. Then we'll see how to create a macro. Before that, there are 2 terms, trace, precedence. What is trace precedent? To trace precedent, right here in formula menu, trace precedent and trace dependence there. So you can use this option. For an example, thing, you get someone else Excel sheet. So he did lot of calculation. So now you need to delete, or you need to know how this calculation he has done. Oh, what are the dependent variable of this total? For an example, how this total calculated. There, then you can click. First, you have to click in this figure. Then you have to click trace precedence. Then it will show what data help to create this figure, mean the total. So by adding all these marks, 85, 70, 82, 67, 76, 80, 78, 90 and 85, and create this total marks. Therefore, by using trace precedent, you can see what data will help to get this total mark. Right. Then, if you want to remove this arrow, click remove arrow. Right. Then what is trace dependent? That means, for an example, in Excel sheet, for an example, you want to delete this 85. Then you want to know, if you are deleting this 85, where will it affect? That means if you are deleting this one, sometimes there may be so many formulas in this Excel sheet, and if you delete one cell, then it will affect for a lot of places in the document. For an example, if you are preparing a trial balance for a profit and loss account or cash flow statement in an Excel worksheet, then if you are deleting one cell, sometime may be affected to different places in the Excel document. Therefore, before deleting your figure, you can check whether it will affect to anywhere else. To check that, you can use this trace dependent. What are the cells depend on this cell? You can check. So you have to do only just click on that cell and click trace dependent. It will directly show the total cell, the total, this one will affected by this cell. So if you are delete this cell, it will affect to change the total. So by using these two options, you can check these things. Right. Then trace precedent, trace dependent. Check the formulas that you use to calculate the total and average. So if you want, you can check the formulas. For an example, if you got this document from someone else, you want to check how this total calculated, how this cell calculated. So what you have to do, click show formulas. Then it will show how this total was calculated. They used the sum function and calculated the total. If you want to see how this average calculated, then you can click on this cell and you can click on show formulas. See, C15, this cell divided by C17. Right. Now create a macro to calculate the student marks in given format. Right. How to run a macro, how to record the macro and how to run a macro. This will be very useful. For an example, think these are few students record sheets. So for an example, think there are 500 students. So now you want to change the formatting of these records like this one, someone's one. So you want to make the name bigger. The font size you need to change the font size to 14. Now it is 11. Then you want to bold this name and you want to put a background color. Then you want to bold the subject and marks and you want to fill these cells in green color. Then you want to bold the total. You want to bold the subjects. Then you want to bold the total and the total marks and you want to put a background color green. And then you want to bold the average and the average marks and you want to have the green color in background. So how to do this? For 500 students, if you have to do this, then if you are doing one by one, it is really difficult. To run a macro, first, what you have to do, keep the cursor here in the top of the student record book. Then go to view tab. Here you can see macro. Then click on this little drop down arrow and you have to activate this use relative reference. If not, macro will not be recorded correctly. You have to activate that one, use relative references. Then if you have same type of records, you can do this formatting using a macro. To do that, what you have to do now, you have to record. To record, what you have to do, first you have to click activate use relative reference, then click record macro. Now you can record this point forward. Now it's asking macro name. I will give a name for macro. Student marks format. Then if you want, you can give a shortcut key, control plus any key you can put here the key, then you can use that shortcut key. Store macro in this workbook. You can keep this macro only for this workbook, or new workbook. I want the macro for this workbook to save. Then you can give a description if you want. Then click OK. Now on this point forward, what you are doing in Excel sheet, it will get recorded. For an example, now I am going to highlight this one. Click here first. Then I will highlight it in yellow color. Then bold and increase the font size to 14. Then I will select these two and make it bold and put the green color in background. Then select these two and green color and bold, and select these subject headings and make them bold, and then select average and average marks and make it bold and put the green color into the background. Now you can go to again view and you can stop recording macro. Now your macro get recorded. Now you can use this one. To use this one, you have to keep your cursor at the same cell you had started to record the macro. So we keep the cursor this in this cell when we are starting recording the macro. Now the same cell to the next record, next student record. This is the cell. I am keeping the cursor there on that cell, and then go to view and macro and view macro. Now you can see the recorded macro is there. You can run this one. Then click run. See, at one shot, everything will get happen. So you no need to do by one. If you want to run the macro for the next one, then click the same cell and then go to macro, then view macro, run. See, if you want to format this student record book, then click here, view macro, view macro, run macro. Very easily you can do the formatting by recording a macro. So this is how we are recording a macro and run a macro in Excel. Okay. Now we are moved to check the subtotal. Right. Here it gives provinces and sales. Right. Take subtotals of sales for each province. Now I want the subtotal of the sales for each province. And how to do this? I'll copy this one and paste it here. Now I will select the entire data set and data subtotal. Click subtotal. Then it is asking at each change in for what you want to get the subtotal for provinces. Then use the function. I want the subtotal. That means I want to use the sum function. Then add subtotal to sales. That means I want to subtotal the sales amount for each province. So I will select here sales. Then click OK. See? No, sorry. Before doing subtotal, if you do subtotal like this, then it will not get what you want. Therefore, before subtotaling, what you have to do, you have to sort according to the provinces, because you want to subtotal this according to provinces. Then to get the subtotal according to the provinces, first you have to sort this according to provinces, because here so provinces are here and there. You have to take the same province to the nearest rows. So select this one here, sort, custom sort, then sort by province A to Z. Click copy. Now the central province comes first. Central province sales 4 figures for central province 1 2 3 4. For north province 1 2 3 4 5 6. Southern province 1 2 3 4 5. Western province 1 2 3 4 5. Now we can subtotal. Select the whole data set, then go to data, then subtotal, province, sum, sales. Okay. Now can you see? For the central province, the subtotal is 39,000. 7,000, 9,000, 15,000, 16,000, 16,000, 11,000, 27,000, and 12,000, 39,000. Now it got the subtotal for each province. If you want, you can calculate the average also for each province. To do that, you can copy this one and paste it here. Now, if you want to do this thing according to provinces, then you should have to sort this according to provinces. Go to home, sort, custom sort, select the province, then right now it gets sorted. Now you can use the subtotal function. Select the whole data set, go to data, then subtotal, then I want to do this for each province, and this time not sum, I want the average. Then I want the sales average. Then click OK. See, it will use the average. Central province average 9,750. North province average 7,583. You can do so many different things. If you want to find the maximum value for each province, you can do that also. Copy and paste it here. Now select this one. First sort. Please remember, first you have to sort this one. Custom sort according to the province. You have to sort first. Now then go to data, subtotal, then select province. This time not the average. I want the maximum value for each province. So maximum, then click OK. See, for the central province, maximum value is 12,000. North province, northern province, 14,500. Then southern province, 12,000. Then western province, 15,000. Then grand max also showing there. It's from western province and 15,000. Right. So this is how we are using subtotal feature. So now you know how to use, how to get a printout, how to get a Excel sheet, how to print a Excel sheet, and then you know how to check the precedent and dependent, and then how to check the formulas, and then how to create a macro and how to run a macro, and finally how to use the subtotal command in Excel. Okay, now you can try by yourself.